I throw out a disclaimer before we get started. Because I'm Joanne, for those of you who didn't get to meet me.
You need a microphone.
Well, not really. I just need Joan to find a spot that's comfortable for her. We like to take good care of Joan. She's very special to us. So, and she's a prized possession of Jesus. So,
Amen.
So anyhow, my disclaimer is I don't know what you've come expecting, but don't expect it. Because so far, even what we expected was kind of different than what we expected. So we've been surprised every time. Kind of goes wherever God wants it to go. But that was the beauty of this thing. The Lord said to us, don't come with plans. And that's kind of like a new thing for me. I like to have some kind of a grid to work off of, and I can change my mind and change my direction in that grid, but I like to have a grid. He said, no grid, no plans, no nothing. I'm like, well, I need a crutch, so I'm still going to have this, and I'm going to have some music up here, but we haven't really used. So this is just, but anyhow, I want you to know, I was perfectly normal until I met Sharon. That's my disclaimer tonight. I was perfectly normal. I mean, there are people in this room who can tell you they weren't afraid to minister with me. They weren't afraid to be around me. Tonight might change everything. We'll see. But we might get a little crazy. Is that okay? Can we get crazy?
Yes.
But here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to be religious. We don't want a form of let's pretend that we're having a good time when we're not. So what the Lord really told us to do, we've been excited about this. We don't know what to expect because He didn't give us any plan for it. We got no grid. So she's a kitchen junk drawer, and I'm like gridless, okay? So, but what the Lord really impressed upon us is that He wants to have fun tonight.
Yes.
And He wants you to have fun with Him. So if you came here with this idea that we're doing church, it might not work for you. Okay, that's just all I'm going to say. Because our idea of church looks like something. And even for us, okay, and that's not what He wants tonight. Because the place that He wants to take us to is a place of real freedom.
Yes.
And freedom isn't something that can be institutionalized.
Nope.
Freedom isn't something that can be programized. Freedom isn't even anything that hangs on a grid. Okay? It's kind of like, it's just out there. So we're going to try and start out with something and find out what's out there. Is that okay? And God was very specific. So if anybody has issues with anything, like I'm just telling you ahead of time, this is a disclaimer. Take it up with Him, not me. Or her, because she's made me weird.
I get to go home.
Alrighty. There's power in the name of Jesus. We're going to start with something that you know. We'll start with something that you know, and then we don't know where we're going after that. But
Never do.
but the Lord wants us to dance and to let loose and to sing. And there's freedom in the house. That is what I want you to know. Do I have freedom to say that, Gina? Yes. Okay. I need to submit to, so I want to make sure. Don't wreck me any more than she said. We did this party. We had party night in Maryland last fall, and we broke out in jitterbug in the middle of worship. But it was so funny. I was laughing so hard I was like this on the floor going, trying to play because I needed something to jitterbug too. So I had to keep it up. But I was losing it. And then she was throwing flame burgers. It's a long story.
Oh my gosh. That's scary now.
Okay, well, Father, we just thank you that you want something different. We thank you that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom.
Yes. Thank you.
We're tired of being down and out. Yes. And under.
Thank you, Jesus.
We want out. We want out tonight. Okay, as you learn it, sing it with me. There is power There's an army rising up to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain, to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. There is power in the name of Jesus. There's power in the name of Jesus. glory wants to come in. Woo. There's an open door and an invitation. There's an invitation. I hear the Lord say that He made a way for you to come and sit with Him in high places. And He's inviting you to come sit. Sit with Him tonight. Come sit. Sit right next to me. You are worthy to sit. Because I, the King, have invited you in. Woo. Woo. You're my daughter. You have permission from the King to go up higher and to go in and to sit in the presence, seated in high places with the King. He says, I want to show you some things. I want to show you some things. I want to show you some things from here. I want you to see how I see things. I want you to know how I know things. I want you to come and see from here. No limitations, no reservations. Come into my presence right here. Woo! No limitations, no reservations. Come into my presence right here. You are worthy. You are worthy to come in. You are worthy to sit with me. You are worthy. You are worthy because of the blood. You are worthy because of the blood. You are worthy to come and sit with me here. Woo. So rise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Rise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. And the glory of the Lord is risen upon says the Lord desires to sing over us. Sometimes we're just uncomfortable with that, but I just hear the Lord saying He just loves you so much and He delights in each one of you. And He wants to sing over you. Sometimes we think we have to just be performing all the time and singing to Him. But this is a love relationship. He says, sometimes you sing, sometimes I sing. So right now He wants to sing a song. It's a prophetic song. Overflow. There's a story about a woman at the well in Scripture. You probably know that story, the Samaritan woman. And she meets Jesus at the well. And He tells her that if the kind of water He has, she'll never thirst again. And that's what this song is about. It's about the water that He has. And He's had me and Sharon dig a well. And this is a different kind of flow. A different kind of water that's coming out. This isn't your regular Philly water. No chemicals. You don't need a filter. It's pure from heaven. So, overflow in me, flowing streams from heaven. They're pouring over me, love pouring from your heart, washing away my sin, wiping away my tears, covering over shame. You're casting out my fears. Your perfect love, your perfect love. Overflow in me, flowing streams from heaven, pouring over me, love pouring from your heart. Streams flow like living waters. Streams flow like living waters. Streams flow like living waters, overflowing me. Lord says, step up and take a drink. Streams flow like living waters. Streams flow like living waters. Streams flow like living waters, overflowing me. So rise, my love, rise, fair one. breakers. I hear breakers. Woo! Woo! I hear breakers. Streams flow like living waters. Streams flow like living waters. Streams flow like living waters. Rise, my love. Rise, fair one. Your winter months are over, and your spring has come. So rise, my love. Rise, fair one. Your winter months are over, and your spring has come.
Praise your name, Father.
Just feel that's a word for everybody in this room. That the Lord is saying, the winter's over.
Yes, right.
The barren season is behind you.
Yes.
The dark days,
Ah.
the short days, they're over. You're about to step into something new.
Ah.
And God says everything we do is by faith.
That's right.
But one thing we've learned in the last 2 days is that there's an open heaven. And you need to take advantage of it. And just step into it.
There's no ceiling.
Ephesians 3:20 tells us, now to him who is able to do more than we could ask, think, or imagine. I don't know, some of you weren't imagining enough. I think what I hear God saying is, you come into the kingdom of God like a child, and a child has a very vivid imagination. A child 1 minute can be a cowgirl, and the next minute a nurse. You know what I'm saying? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? What are you imagining that you could be? Some of you aren't imagining big enough. You think because you've been in these winter months, it's going to be like this forever. It's not. Because God said, sing that song over them. It comes straight from Song of Solomon. These are his words, not mine. I didn't make them up. He's saying your winter is behind you. Unless you want to go back and visit it. So he's inviting you. This is all about an invitation. He's inviting you to a new level. A new place. A new space. A new opportunity. Behold, I do a new thing. That word behold, it means surprise, surprise, surprise. You didn't know you were coming to a surprise party tonight, did you?
Surprise.
Has a surprise for each one of us. Do you believe it?
Yes.
Well, start imagining for it. I mean, we got to start, God created everything out of his imagination. And we're created in his image. I think we've lost the ability to create. So there's like these spiritual crayons in the heavens. Pick your favorite color and start drawing a new picture for for yourself, okay? Imagine all those little girl dreams, they're about to return. They're coming back. Woo! They're coming back. All those little girl dreams, they're coming back. What were you dreaming for as a little girl? God's releasing them tonight. Woo! Activation. Activation. I hear the Lord saying, He doesn't care what you've done. He doesn't care about your past. You seem to care more than He does. It's over.
That's right.
It's over. He doesn't care what happened yesterday. He didn't care what happened this morning. He doesn't care. He's looking about where you're going. He's about your future. Your future starts right now. Your destiny is standing here in the midst of us. It's right here. It's open. Step into it. Woo! I hear him just stirring waters. Woo! Woo!
I'll tell you, that's right on the money. Right on the money. Oh my God. God is so good. He's so good. Okay, don't mind me if I get wrecked. Okay, I'm serious. The weight of God's glory in this world is phenomenal. That's because He's welcomed us in. He's saying, yeah, you know, the King's eyes have looked on you and said, and what is it he said, the king in Esther? He said, I'm not very busy. They're telling me what he said. When the king saw Esther, he was pleased. He was pleased. He was pleased by her beauty. And he welcomed her in above all the other women. And you know what? I just want you to know that I am his favorite one. Oh, but you are his favorite one too. My email is favorite1@gmail.com. And every time I get an email or send an email, I remember I am his favorite. I was chosen. So are you. But more importantly, now I know that you already got a preview on how this came to be. That I'm here with Joanne. And I'm just, for those of you who are new to the game, I'm just going to share it with you because this is so critical to what happens here tonight. I'm just this ordinary person from a small town in Maine. You know, I just really, there's nothing special about me, except for one thing. When I was 52 years old, I was sitting at Starbucks and I was supposed to go back to work to my job at teaching school in just a few weeks. And I loved that, but you know, while I was sitting there, all of a sudden I found myself crying and saying, God, don't make me go back. Don't make me go back. And I'm thinking, what is this about? And I could not stop crying. Well, you know, you don't sit in Starbucks and ball your eyes. So I had my computer, my work computer, in front of me, and I'm like hiding behind it, sobbing. And I got on the phone and I called my daughter, who at the time lived in Kansas City, and I said, Sarah? Yeah, where's the other Sarah in the room? Where is she? Yeah, my daughter Sarah. She's my Sarah friend. Anyway, I called her and I said, are there any people out there Christian schools where I could go to work. I thought that was going to rescue me, you know, go to work in a Christian school. That would be good. It was a good year, but it wasn't it. And what happened was she knew somebody, and there was a principal, and he says, yeah, well, she hired me sight unseen. Actually, she said, I might have a job for you. I heard might, and God said yes. I sold everything I had and fit everything in my little Hyundai accent and started driving to Kansas City. I was literally halfway there before I found out I really had a job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. And that's how much it's a God heard me. He said, no, you don't have to go back. But I made a determination at 52 years old that I was never going back to the way things were. That was the point in my life where I turned and I said, the next half of my life is going to count big for the kingdom. I had no idea what I was saying. I had no idea it would lead me even to this place. But so anyway, I started on that path at that point in time, and several things happened. I did actually, for a brief period of time, go back into a traditional job. And I accidentally pastored a church, and you would say, how do you do that? Well, I got a call from a pastor saying, I got a stint put in my heart, and he said, I just need somebody to cover the pulpit for a couple of weeks, you know, just preach. And well, they don't have a worship leader, they have a pianist, who happened to be my sister, and other things. So you got to do everything. You know, you got to do the announcements, you got to do the whole ritual. And by the way, we're not really Christian. We're kind of like a social club. They didn't really say that, but I figured it out fast. And so I get in there to this church, and I ended up pastoring it for. I was in there for almost a year when they decided to vote me in as a regular pastor, and I said yes. And then something took a turn for the worse, and it did not happen, and God put me in this little radical Pentecostal church in the town that I live in now. And you know, I could still feel that yearning. The Christian school thing lasted a year. The pastoring thing lasted a year. I started taking classes to try to go into ministry, you know, Baptist seminary or whatever school. And it was all good, but nothing was right. And then, so I started substitute teaching. And I kept thinking, I should get a job, You know, I should get a real job, get a real life. and God just kept saying, no, I want you to pray. And I'm thinking, that's not the norm. He said, I've called you to an unusual lifestyle. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it to many people because you've got to really be called to it. So I would get up in the morning and I would pray. I'd read the word and pray and get on the keyboard and I'd worship and I'd intercede. Then I started seeing things happen in my church first. And I thought, well, this is cool. But then it became more intense because one night, a year ago, May 13th. I remember it because my daughter's 25th birthday this year, May 13th. But that was her birthday. I woke up in the middle of the night after having this dream. And the dream was that a woman who is a director of a Christian ministry in Virginia that I knew came to me, and he took to my door, took a note to my door. And the note said, New Hope for Women, which is these people, you know, and it said Pennsylvania on the note, and it also said, you know, okay, I gotta focus. I'm so into this that I can't hardly focus on what happened. I'm going back into the past, you see. I'm in the moment. So anyway, I'm looking at this note. It says New Hope for Women, Pennsylvania, and it has the date September 23rd on it, which I understand was your like a banquet for you guys last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was pretty cool. So September 23rd it said, and then it had some times on it, and it was taped to a bus ticket. And then that meant transportation. You know, like God was going to get me there. And then it was there were instructions and saying, this ministry contacted me looking for a speaker, and I'm sending you. And I'm like, okay, wow. Oh, and I was supposed to take a taxi with the number 6 on it. The only thing I can figure out that is in the Bible, you know, the number 6 is the number of humanity.
Yep.
And we're all human, right? So I think that has to do with that. I don't really know. But anyway, so I had that dream. And I get up and I wrote it. Oh, I get up in the night. I wrote it down on my phone real quick. And then I opened up my calendar and I said, oh, it's a Saturday. That's a good sign. And I put it on my calendar. New Hope for Women, September 23rd. And I went back to sleep. And then I get up in the morning and I said, I wonder if that ministry really exists. So I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, New Hope for Women in Philadelphia. And I'm going, it's real. It's really real. And I was blown away. And then I said, okay, but that doesn't mean they're really Christian. Lots of people call themselves ministers, you know, and they might be just this humanitarian group, you know, good deeds and all that kind of thing. But I, again, you know, inspecting the site, and I see the mission statement and everything, I go, well, they're really Christian, you know, and all this stuff. And that's good. And I see Joanne's picture on there, and at the time as the director still, you know, and I'm thinking, I should contact this person. But I prayed about it for a few days. Actually, I was scared for a few days because I thought for sure she'd think I was a nutcase. Maybe I think she thinks I am. I think she knows that I am. But anyway, so finally, after a few days, I prayed and I said, God, what should I title this email to get her to open it? She doesn't know me. She might just say, junk. I don't know this person. I might be a virus. I titled it. Need to speak with you about September 23rd, regarding September 23rd. And she was involved with this like women's retreat thing, and they didn't have a speaker for September 23rd, so when she saw that, it was like, oh, something important about that. And so that got her to open it. It had nothing to do with that. But so that's what happened. Is she opened it, and I wrote, Dear Joanne, you don't know me, but, and then I told the dream, and then I asked her to pray and consider whether the Lord was in this and speaking, and the long and short of it, she shared it with several trusted people, intercessors, people who pray and hear God, and they said, yeah, we think it's God, you know, so then she invited me to kind of check me out, you know, she said she would beg me, you know, and I kind of sort of knew it, but then I was doing the same thing in a way myself, but probably not as much as she was, because I didn't have much to lose, you know, but anyway, it turned out that we built this friendship, you know, and relationship, and I've been visited her and her husband for a few days with my brother. I brought my brother for, you know, he was my bodyguard. And then after that, I went down to her home on September 23rd, and we had a weekend of ministry that was phenomenal. But, you know, the thing that struck me about this most of all was that, first of all, you guys weren't like looking for a speaker. Nobody was looking for a speaker in the natural. But you know what? He heard the cry, of the heart cry, of a people that maybe hadn't even come together yet. God knew who would be in this room. He knew every one of you. And he knew you'd be here. He knew the people down in Maryland who would be in that room on that date, September 23rd. But see, you guys are in Pennsylvania. New Hope for Women is what was in my dream. Pennsylvania was in my dream too. So it was all contained. And if I hadn't done that, I would never found her. If they had not said that, it would have been done. It would have been that's the end of that. You know, because there are lots of organizations they're called New Hope or Hope for Women, you know, New Hope Ministries and things like that, but nothing else like this. And I just want to tell you that God sent me here in a very unusual way. I mean, that's just unusual. You know, things like that don't happen. And the thing that struck me is that it doesn't say anything about how holy or how godly or anything about me. What it says is that I just had my antenna up, and that somebody here, many of you here, did something in the spirit that drew that kind of activity. You understand? You sent out a signal in the spirit, and all I did was pick it up. And it was a powerful signal, a powerful signal. So that means that you should expect a powerful impartation tonight. Because if God did that for you, if he came and tapped me on the shoulder in the middle of the night in Maine for you, it's important. It's important. Now, I'm a kind of a storyteller, okay? So I'm going to tell you another story. And I have a lot of dreams. I think that when I die, my gravestone, if I ever have one, I'm probably going to be cremated. But anyway, if I had a gravestone, it wouldn't say, like Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream. It would say, I had a dream. Because every other sentence, I had a dream, I had a dream. It's true, I have dreams. I can't get around it. But anyway, this one is, and I have experiences that are unusual. Okay, so this one I guess isn't really a dream, come to think of it. I get mixed up sometimes. You gotta bear with me. I was in church just a couple of Sundays ago, and I'm standing up at the front of the church worshiping and everything. And all of a sudden my pastor, who is a woman, isn't that great? She's a woman pastor. She is so cool. She preaches in ripped jeans, and she's Pentecostal. Who knew Pentecostal would wear ripped jeans?
Yeah, right.
I know.
I know.
And she sometimes has spiky pink hair, and
Awesome.
oh yeah, she's the real deal. But anyway, so she walks up to me and she goes, Sharon. She goes up. Right here, let's use you. She goes, Sharon. She goes, I see something. She goes, I see this whirlwind and everything. And she's going on and on about this whirlwind. And then she says, who is that superhero that is turns into a superhero? And she says, and somebody in the congregation shouts, Wonder Woman. and right before that happened, I'm at the front of the church, and they were doing this song where they were doing, I'm very spastic, I can't dance. They were doing this to some song that I'd never heard before, and they wanted everybody to do it because that was supposed to mean you were free. And honestly, unless the power of God is on me, or I really get relaxed with a bunch of friends, that does not speak freedom to me. That speaks bondage, because that's not my expression. So I'm like, please don't make me dance like that right now. I can dance with the best of them. She's seen that, but not like that. So I was struggling, but the second she said Wonder Woman, I went, whoa, yes, I'm Wonder Woman! And you know why I was doing that? Because right before, even though I had all those negative thoughts, right before that I had been thinking about this guy in the Bible named Saul. He became a king of Israel. But I was thinking about the time where he was out looking for missing donkeys, right? And just minding his own business, working for his dad. He's out looking for missing donkeys, and he comes across this prophet who says to him, basically he says, well, you're going to be the king. But before that, he said, you're going to meet up with a group of prophets. And he said, and the Spirit of God is going to come upon you and change you into another man. See, and I was thinking that right before she came up. So when she said Wonder Woman, I knew that the Spirit of God had come on me and turned me into another woman. And I'm telling you, that's what he wants. That's what he's doing here. Not what he wants to do, it's what he's already doing. He's coming in this room and he is putting you in that whirlwind. You're a Wonder Woman. You're Wonder Woman. And he's changing us into this new person. And I'm telling you, I didn't even watch the movie Wonder Woman. I never read the comic books. I kind of looked it up a little bit to see what she did. But this is the thing. About a few weeks prior to all of this, I'm a big dot connector, okay? I look at the things that happen in my life and I see God's hand in it. What had happened is I was I had to suffer in Hawaii this winter. I'm just going to tell you. I know it sounds terrible, but no, I did. I went and took care of my grandchildren until my kids were in school. And so I was really blessed. But while I was there, I was ministering to this woman from Norway, and she's a missionary. And God gave me a vision over her life. And this is what I saw. I said, her name is Torin. I said, Torin, I saw a vision of you in a village with a bunch of, and the village was made up of all women. And I saw you go in, and you had a sword, and you were dressed like a warrior, and you were fighting off the enemy. And you fought and fought, and as soon as you secured the village, when you secured the village, this is what you did. You took your sword and you went like this to a woman, and she took her hand on her sword and said, okay, this is how you fight.
No.
That's what I saw, right? So when my pastor came to me and said, Wonder Woman, I knew it was about here. I knew it was about today. I knew it was about you. And I knew that God is putting that sword in your hand and teaching you how to fight. You see, that this one thing, when all of us have these people in our lives that we can look to and we can say, yeah, they taught me how to do this, or they showed me how to do that. But there comes a time where that person might not be there. You know, and so, and I know that the people in this house have been faithful to teach those that have come through here how to wield the sword. That's the sword of the Spirit, you know, the Word of God, right? And I'm just telling you, the sword is in your hand. Okay, this gets even better. This gets even better. Because in that church service, now God was downloading all of this for this, and I know it now, when she started talking about the little girl, he's restoring us to a place of before it happened, before the junk happened, to a place. So that's where the real Wonder Woman is. It was before it happened, the junk. That's who you really are. That's who God made you. It's your identity. So anyway, I'm in the service still, and I just got the big Wonder Woman thing, you know, and my pastor's husband says he's Mighty Mouse, and I'm like, that's not a superhero. But anyway, go ahead, be Mighty Mouse if you want. I'm going to be Wonder Woman. So I'm sitting in the front row because I couldn't go back to my seat. The power of God was so strong. The presence of God was so strong, like it is in this room. Even right now, I can feel it. And I had my eyes closed. Now, I don't have cliche visions usually. You know, like, oh, I saw Jesus in his robes, and I saw him holding the lamb, you know, like that kind of stuff. But I saw him come in the room and sit on the throne right in front of me. I really did. I saw it. And I saw him get up and reach out his scepter to me and touch me. Like a power, and touch me. And I touched it. And I laid on the floor and just shook. Right? And then, you know, it gets better. Because my pastor, right out of the blue, she said, the presence of God has come into this room. She said, in a new way, in all of his majesty, he has come into the room. And she said, and he's touching me with his scepter. She said that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to hyperventilate here because I was wrecked the rest of the day. And you know what's kind of cool? This is a side note, but after that powerful experience, no, this does have to do with you. I live by faith. And what that means is, we all live by faith. You know, the just shall live by faith, right? But I mean, I literally walk that path where I have to trust God for my every need. And you know, when you are called to do something like this, doesn't seem like that makes much sense, right? Not very logical to live in that kind of world, what the world perceives as a constraint. But you know what happened? Is I got a powerful confirmation because a businessman walked up to me after church and said, God told me to pay off your car. And you know, and that told me that he's saying, go, you're free. Because that was one of my major things that would have been in the way. You know, because that weighed on me. Even though for 2 years he's miraculously made that payment, it still weighed on me. You know what I mean? And so he freed me up to be able to do just what's happening right here now. That's how important you all are. That's how important we all are to God's heart. That he would do something like that. Oh, he's completely wrecking my life in the most incredible way. Number one, starting with meeting her. I mean, she thinks I wrecked her life. She wrecked my life. Anyway, so the next day, I get up and I say, okay, so I got touched with the scepter of God, you know, the king. And I said, I got to read the book of Esther, because that's where there's the story of the king reaching out his scepter to Esther, Queen Esther. Okay? And so I read through it. And when I got to the part where it says that he reached out with the scepter, he said he was pleased with her, you know, and he put out a scepter and he said, come close. And then he said, what is your request? What are you asking for? And I knew in that moment that he was saying, Sharon, what are you asking for? What are you asking for? And you know what I asked for? I asked him for the freedom of all the women that God sends for me to minister to. Just like she prayed for the freedom of the Jews, her people. You're my people. We're all women here. You're my people. And that's what I asked God for your freedom. And for my freedom, because she had to ask for her own freedom too, because she was a Jew. And you know, the amazing thing is, it happened. It did happen. But there is one thing. There was a decree. There was this bad guy, that, you know, Haman, who was going to kill all the Jews because he was jealous, he was angry, he didn't want anything to do with them. So he's got all these followers that are going to kill the Jews. But you know, the king gave Esther and her uncle Mordecai the authority to write a decree that gave the Jews permission to fight for themselves, to stand up to the enemy, and to annihilate them. And who was it that said today about somebody this afternoon, we were at a prayer gathering, was talking about Haman was like, I don't remember what she said. It doesn't matter right now. It doesn't have to do with here right now. The point is this. It wasn't a passive victory. It wasn't like they suddenly were, woo, we're free, gung-ho free. What it meant is that they had permission to fight. And see, that's where that Wonder Woman thing comes in. That's where that prophetic word that I had given to that woman in Hawaii, God brought it back and he said, that wasn't just for her. That was for you, and it was for all women. It's the new woman. It's the new woman in God. It's a Wonder Woman. Anyway, so that's it, you know, and I mean, God went to, in my mind, he went to a lot of trouble to make this all happen. You know what I mean? So he can, you know, he didn't really, but you know, it's unusual. I mean, just when I think my life is normal, you know, usually you run into somebody and you meet them and somebody introduces you to somebody. You don't just dream about them, you know, and have it happen. It's a natural series of events. But that's how important you are to God's heart. And he really wants to release something in you. You probably, I know you have something. I can tell, I can feel it.
I'm burning with the story of Queen Esther. This is so great. You know, when he was looking for a replacement for the queen, it says that, you know, he had all these virgins, and we know that story, you know, line up, and he was going to check them out, and he said, listen to this, it says, then let them be placed under the care of whatever the name is, Haggai, and the king's eunuch, who is in charge of the women, and let beauty treatments be given to them. Then let the girl, hearing it?
Yeah.
Let the girl who pleases the king be queen instead of Vashti. You see, I didn't know that he referred to her as a girl when we were talking about a little girl.
Wow.
So God is reversing something that has happened in your life along the way. And he's taking you back to a place, not that you behave like an 8-year-old again, okay? But he's taking you back to a place, and he's confirming it in his word, that he's calling the girl, not the battered woman, not the broken vessel, not the shattered dreams,
That's right.
not the, this has gotten really tough and I don't know where I'm going anymore, or what my purpose is. He called her a girl. He wanted a girl. And tonight I hear the Lord saying he wants to take you back to a place where you're the girl of his dreams. I mean, I don't know anything about your past, but I've been looking at you all night.
And I'm like single-minded, so don't anybody get offended if I only pick out one. But I'm used to,
right.
leaving the 99
Yeah.
and going after the one. That's kind
That's
of
right.
the call of my life.
Yeah.
So when I see the one, I go, near.
Yeah.
And I just kind of hone in on the one. And that doesn't mean that God isn't looking at everybody. She'll probably find some others. But you are having a hard time believing this is a turnaround moment for you. Because you're letting this up here limit what God can do. It's because you're smart. You're a smart girl. It's good to be smart. Okay? But our smarts get in the way. He's looking for a girl. A little girl. Who he says, if we drop down a little bit further, he says, this girl, who was also known as Esther, what's your name, Kelly? Okay, Kelly, was lovely in form and features. And Mordecai had taken her as his own daughter. That's a picture of the father. Taking her as his own daughter when her mother and father had died. So when we feel orphaned, God wants you to know He takes you like Mordecai. He takes you and He wants to father you. And this father, it doesn't matter what any other father looked like on the face of the earth. This father is different. He sees that you're beautiful. You're his little girl.
Yes.
You're his little girl. What Daddy isn't going to do whatever he can for his little girl.
Yes.
You're a little girl that's a treasure to him. And I see the father, and this might just be, we're using her as a picture for everybody. If you want to own it, okay? Don't say, oh, woe with me. She didn't say it about me. I'm using her as an example because I was drawn into this young lady, okay? I see him coming to the little girl and wrapping his arms around the little girl and saying, nothing's going to hurt you. Nothing's going to get you. You're mine. You are my beloved, and I am yours. He's given himself to you tonight in a new way. He's given himself to you tonight in a new way. What you do with that is on you. If you don't receive what God has for you tonight, it's because you walked away from a gift that God has given you because you didn't think you were worthy. Lord. You looked at your past, and we all got it. I have a past. I mean, it's like a tail. I cut it off. That's what I did, was I cut mine off. I mean, it was like nasty. It was doing this. You know the Wizard of Oz? You know the lion?
I love that movie.
The tail sound like this. He's trying to shove it. That was me all the time. Trying to shove my past. Okay? And then I let Jesus come and cut it off. Backside, but I don't have a tail. You're getting it. You're getting it. I can see you're getting it. Embrace it with everything in you. Every fiber in you. Don't just get it here. That's our prayer. We're praying that it drops into your heart, into your spirit. And you walk out of here tonight holding the scepter that's out here like this, extended to you. You know, that's the amazing thing. God's been talking about queens all day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he wants lots of queens. He wants lots of queens. We didn't know we were going to talk about queens. Did you know? I had no idea.
Yeah, like that.
Talking about queens. You know what? It's funny because I keep hearing queen for a day. But you know, in God's economy, a day is a very long time.
Yes.
And the day that he's talking about is a day of eternity. And eternity starts right in this moment. Right in this moment. Daddy has come. Yes, he has. He has come. And he said, behold, today is a new day. It's not just a theory. It's not something that is just like, okay, this is a nice Christian thing to say to you today. I'm past that. I am so done with Christian nicety. I am so done with trying to promise people in my own flesh that God's got a, plan and purpose for your life, and I can quote all the scriptures and hallelujah, praise the Lord. God, if you don't say it, I'm not passing it on. Zip over my lip.
Amen.
Because I am tired of saying things and it not happening for people, and they walk away more damaged and broken and hurting, and they feel rejected again. Tonight is your night. And you see,
if for no other reason, we've had some fun days, we've done some really good things, but our passion has really been about tonight. It's really been about tonight. And you see, I believe that when I had this little thought in my head, sometimes it's just a little thought, but I act on those thoughts. I had this little thought in my head that said September 23rd, I want to do a retreat. I want to do a retreat. And I'm a speaker, and they came in with all these different names. I was like, no. I was really particular. But you see, at the same time, there was a banquet. There was a banquet that happened on the same night. And you see, God saw the banquet. And he invited people to the banquet. They were his little girls. And it was all about that night. September 23rd has so much significance for everybody in this room, and even people in Maryland. It was all about God was reaching out of the heavens and saying, I'm doing something on September 23rd. Because my first thought was that, maybe I'm supposed to do something in Pennsylvania because this woman noticed that I was from Pennsylvania, and that's why we made the phone call and we couldn't do what we wanted to do. It got put on hold till tonight. Do you see this? Do you see how this whole dream and this whole thing came together too? Women just like, we had our own little plan, our own little agenda, and our own little life going on. But God had you in mind. And he had this moment in mind. And every single, I don't care if you're Tracy, or you're Gina, or you're Helena, or anybody else in the room. Tonight you're a little girl. And you get to do-over. I like do-overs. See, I actually like repentance. Because it's a do-over. Okay, that was wrong. Do it over. We go, oh, repentance. Oh, that's me. No, it's not. It's a do-over. It's like a big eraser. I used to carry a big eraser at school. A couple of them. Erase all my mistakes. And now in the spirit, I just imagine, get out the eraser. Here I come. Somebody's going to have to erase something I've done. I make mistakes all the time. But I cut off my tail. It doesn't get to direct where I'm going anymore. And God is cutting off tails tonight. The tail of the wannabe, the could have been, should have been, that tail is getting cut off tonight. If only I had. If I had done it your way. If I wasn't just rebellious. The tails are cutting off tonight. Because the name of Jesus is bigger than any tail. Do you believe it? Because unless you believe it and you receive it like a child, see, you guys receive this like a child. You can't be a queen without being a child. You got to be the little girl in order to be the queen. Because you can't come into the kingdom unless you're a child. The Bible says so. The Bible says you come into the kingdom like a child. He's looking for a child. Who's the queen? So you're free to be the little girl you always wanted to be, with big girl dreams. And when I grow up, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when I grow up? Tonight's your night. And if you don't get to be what you want to be, it's because you didn't ask tonight. That is how significant tonight is. I wouldn't make that up. I'm telling you, it'd strike me with lightning bolts if I was sitting here saying it because I just wanted to make you feel good. One thing I've learned is that there is this open heaven. And in the open heaven, he's giving things away. He's just like, what do you want? What do you want? Why are you not asking? Why are we so afraid to come to God? Oh, that's right, because we got a tail. He cut it off.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I don't see it. You do. Get those glasses off that have tails on it. Put new set of glasses on if you have to. No more tails. You're tailless creatures that are allowed to come to the throne of God. You have permission. He gave you permission tonight. I heard him say, come up higher. Come up higher. He told John. I visited the island of Patmos, where John wrote the book of Revelation. And on the island of Patmos, when he was up in the cage, he couldn't see anything but water. There was was nothing. I mean, maybe a bird would fly by, but he couldn't see, look down and see ground. Couldn't see anything, just like, couldn't even see land on the other side. It was just water. You know how boring that must have been? I mean, he had a waterfront property, but I'm sure it was boring. Because I stood there for 10 minutes and I was like, wow, I'd get tired of looking at this. This is water. So he had 0 distractions. Listen to me carefully. He had 0 distractions in that moment, in that cave. Nothing was between him and what he could see in the heavens. And God spoke to him and said, come up here. I want to show you something. And he wrote the book of Revelations from up here. And tonight, God has said, come up here. I want to show you some things. Because I want you, Kelly, to see you how I see you.
Oh, yes, amen.
Stop looking through your glasses. But you need a new set. Take them off, stomp on them, get rid of them because they're not working right. They're not looking at you with proper vision. Isn't that what we do with glasses that don't work? Okay, she would know. Redo them. Redo them? Put a new prescription in. Okay, we all get a redo. Get a redo, new prescription, upgrades. Upgrades, free on the house. Okay, it won't cost you anything.
That's right.
Because tonight's your night. So whatever it is you're dreaming, let's just dream. Can we dream? What do you want to dream about? Let's just dream.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a fun moment. We're just going to dream in the presence of the king. What girl doesn't want to be a princess or a queen or something like that? Come on. Get your Cinderella dress out. Get your little, what do you want? Get your white horse. Yeah. Start with, now to him who is able to do more than you could ask, think, or imagine. Father, I ask right now that you would activate and release imagination into truth. Release it, Father God, where it has been stuffed and stored and stomped on and pushed back and beaten down. Lord, bring it up and bring it into focus with the new lens. Father, let us see with the new lens imaginations that originate from the throne. They come straight from heaven. Download from heaven. What are we allowed to think about tonight? What are we allowed to ask for tonight? Oh, that's right. Whatever we can imagine. Imagine big. That's what I hear the Father saying. Imagine big. No, but I'm big enough. Some of you aren't thinking big enough. Imagine big. As a matter of fact, yesterday when we were doing the open heaven thing and we were ministering, there was a double rainbow that happened outside. We didn't know it, but somebody took a picture of it, and at 2 o'clock in the morning I couldn't sleep. And there I was looking at it going, oh, I gotta text everybody I know. I was texting people at 2 o'clock. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody's gonna like me. I didn't even look at my phone today to see who got mad at me. Then I texted them at 2 o'clock, but I was so excited. Double portion.
Yeah.
Double portion, double portion, double portion, double portion. So take the imagination and double it. Double it. I mean, this is fun. This is a good night. Stop being so serious. No, this is fun. Oh, stop it, girlfriend. I know what you're thinking. Stop it. Stop it. No limitations. The limitations are because you put them on. Not him. What did you say today? Up to half the kingdom. What do you want up to half the kingdom? Close your eyes. See yourself as a little girl. And the king has entered the room. And he's walking through. And he's examining each one. And he says, I can't resist the beauty of this one. He says, I choose you.